They didn't tell us about rugby league at school, but then we were middle class, lived in the south, and played rugby union. So we never knew that far off in the cloth-capped north, men took money for playing a very different rugger. This film is about rugby league, with rugby union a kind of Banquo's ghost. Rugby union officials at Twickenham would allow neither themselves nor their members to be filmed, for even to appear in the same roll of celluloid as the blackballed league sends a shudder through the union. The union prefers to nurse a private grudge against its prodigal son. As one official said, "We think we are right, but in the democratic world in which we live, our view might not be understood." It's evening at Wigan, a goodish crowd, and everyone wants the same thing: finesse and fireworks and fitness and force majeure.
I think rugby league ideally is this blend of finesse and speed and sheer physical brute force. To me, it's the perfect blend of the artistic and the primitive.
First, the differences. In rugby union, there are 15 players a side. Here, there are 13, for rugby league has no wing forwards, the spoil sports of the game. So the field is less cluttered and play fluider. Difference number 2. What kind of union supporter would wave a wooden rattle or wield a large teddy bear? Not that the game is anything but deadly serious.
There's two games, you know. There's the game that you see on television and there's the game that you see here. And it can be the same game in the sense that television can be here and Eddie Waring, who is perhaps the best commentator of them all, can be here. But the thing he's presenting comes over as a kind of comedy, doesn't it? Almost as a rival to All In Wrestling. And that isn't really the game at all. You see, the game is a very serious, very tough game. But it's also, although the players themselves would blush if you said this, it's really a very intelligent game, almost a very intellectual game.
What a big crowd at Wigan, and the home team, who until last Saturday hadn't lost a match. They're rather keen to, of course, break this Castleford record.
And the language, another difference. What a contrast from Old Deer Park or Twickers.
Oh, they've thrown him in the shit now. That's a bloody shame. He's certainly sounding.
Hardesty, they're without his little mate, Hepworth, the pigeon fancier, and they could do with him on this ground. Wigan, of course, tremendously.
There are fewer hold-ups in league simply because you can't boot the ball out of play direct. In league, the ball weaves from man to man, seeking a way through until it goes down with the sinking ship.
Knock on!
But it's in a player being allowed to rise from the ground with the ball after a tackle, and not as in union releasing it, that rugby league has developed its different style.
Get on! Obstruction!
And in England, rugby league never left its cradle. It still lies landlocked in 3 northern counties: the coal and heavy woolen area of Yorkshire, the mill towns of Lancashire and the dockland of Cumberland. Rugby league cannot but throw up encounters that are either Wars of the Roses or local derbies.
Pause for breath there for a quick commercial. On now to rugby league.
Tonight at Wigan, the job of tilting at the Saints windmill falls to the lot of Oldham, who haven't so far had a particularly successful season apart from getting to the Lancashire Cup final.
The Union has checked the virus by its control of pitches, a stranglehold on schools and 8 fierce bylaws. For the Union regards itself as the one true church and the League as an apostate and heretic.
So a hard fight, but another Saints Cup.
These players are banned from rugby union unless they are servicemen, for tragically it takes war for the true power of British rugby ever to be seen.
It's quite understandable for some people to think that rugby union administrators are stuffy, because quite a lot of them are, and quite backward thinking, I believe. They're too terrified of the things that are going on in 1968. They're frightened, they still want to retain this Victorian atmosphere where there is a boss man and there is a serf, and that they're in complete charge of it all.
These men are not full-time professionals. During the week they work like anyone else.
Factories, mills, you know, something like that. I would say majority of them are working class people who work, you know. Joiners, bricklayers. In Yorkshire, hell of a lot of fellas who work down a pit, you know.
They play hard to win, for winning means a bonus.
I would say, you know, an average is £15 to win, 6 to lose, with for big games, larger bonuses.
45 smackaroos.
But they only get paid if they play. No play, no pay. And when a man is earning £20 a week, if he can earn another £15 or £20 a week on top, it pays him to win.
Put a big top on, Jack.
But Rugby League has never scrupled to plunder Union of its best men. A 5th column of League scouts has infiltrated Wales.
The Rugby League always wants that colourful person, and you can get more colourful persons from Rugby Union.
About a quarter of League players are Union renegades. Some prosper, some are spectacular failures.
It costs him about 5,000 for one try.
In the old days, that is, you know, the turn of the century, in the first 20 or 30 years of this century, when scouts from rugby league territories went down, particularly to Wales, they were, you know, if they were found out, they were very badly treated, you know, thrown in the river or tarred and feathered or even beaten up. I don't think there's quite that nowadays.
Eddie Waring, television commentator, was once manager of Dewsbury and Leeds. He often popped the question to Union men.
Oh, it was just a job of work. I never thought, you know, it's going buying a steak in a hotel or something. I don't look upon it as anything very difficult.
For leaving the Valleys and joining Salford Rugby League Club, David Watkins of Newport and Wales pocketed £13,000 tax-free.
Obviously, the reason I turned professional was from a financial point of view. I think everybody has to secure themselves for life, and this was an opportunity for me to secure myself for life.
Billy Wood and Ken Broom of Wigan are experts at invading Union territory.
I've been on several pitches, ostensibly looking for an autograph, but in fact, the usual approach is put your address on here, we know your name. Of course, if you get the chap's address, well, you also know that you're at least interested. From then on, it's pure business.
And I had £4,000 in £5 notes in a brown paper parcel.
Yes, we used to do that, didn't we?
No kidding this. And we went down on the Sunday. We met this boy in a little pub. That was his uncle's.
I know what you're speaking of.
And I noticed an international fullback, a Welsh international fullback. And we made arrangements to meet his father. We always do this if a fellow isn't 21. And this boy wasn't 21 at the time. So we arranged to meet his father and his mother. This is Sunday. And when we went up to his home, Council House, his father was just coming home from the mines. He's dirt. And that boy was offered £4,000. I opened the paper parcel, to let him look, to show it was sincere. He just said, no, no, no. There.
It's usually a working class type of fellow that shall I say, takes the bait or makes the right decision.
And I think the only people that we leave alone, we don't seriously. When the people are going to Cambridge, Oxford and Cambridge, we always say, well, that's something out of our, you know, there's no chance of getting these boys, so we just leave them alone.
Well, it's no secret. It can't be in my little tiny village of Trebannog at home in the Rhondda Valley because that I was offered money to become a rugby league player because people arrived from Wigan and Leeds on a Sunday morning, a Rolls-Royce car outside the front door of a terraced house in Wales, well, isn't a commonplace thing. So everybody knew they were there to talk rugby league terms with me. Strictly speaking, I then became a professional because one is not allowed to discuss or negotiate. But as my mother said, when I said, look, I mustn't talk with them, ma'am, because I have to give up my amateur status. My mother said, well, you can't leave them on the doorstep, bring them in. And my mother used to cook food. You know, I mean, lots of people came down not to buy me, but to get ham and chips from my mother.
Assuming, say, we find them, for instance, when they're just getting married, that's a good time because they want a house, and they're probably labourers in some cases.
You get all walks of life,
ordinary people. And we can say to them, well, all right, we're prepared to give you so much money to sign, cash money, there's no tax from it or anything. It's on the basis of relinquishing their amateur status.
They came to Ireland on one occasion to talk with my wife that is now, and I was courting her in those days, to try to say to her, look, you know, if he becomes a rugby league player, you'll have a lovely house and a car. And what's he got now? Hasn't got very much of a job, not earning very much money. And this is a great temptation, you know. They played it that way. I didn't mind it, didn't resent it. And I believe that people who resent rugby league scouts and people offering money, I mean, everybody's got his own sense of values. And it's up to the individual. I don't believe that you can say they're playing dirty tactics by offering money. I mean, for goodness sake, most fellas in Wales are delighted to have an offer. Aren't they? I mean, really are.
Right, well, the next match, lads, is Huddersfield and Hull. What have you got, Jim?
Jim Windsor and co sit down in Leeds to fix the odds for a weekly rugby league coupon that they know only a few thousand will fill out.
All in favour, right. Huddersfield 3. Now, here's a good match. In the Wigan-Oldham match, what do you suggest we give, Jim? What's that?
Like the coupon, many league clubs stagger on from crisis to crisis, losing ground each year against creeping social change. Betting shops, television, Saturday afternoon shopping with the wife, Leeds United, Everton and the rest.
A very good figure. I'm going to suggest we give Oldham 12, I think.
To survive, more and more clubs are taking a lead from Salford. They're becoming amusement centres and social clubs.
We have a celebration in the club tonight. Congratulations to Gladys. Which is Gladys, please? Let's see Gladys there. That's it. Stand up, Gladys. That's good. Now, she's getting married a week on Saturday. Give her a hand, please. A week on Saturday. That's better. And it's best wishes from all your friends. Elaine, Linda, Gladys, Rita, Ethel, Maureen, Irene, June, Jackie, Linda and June. And at the end is Paul there. It is Paul. Very lucky man. Congratulations, Gladys. All the best to you. Have a good day, a week on Saturday.
Take bets, please. I got the play card. No more bets.
More fans watch Manchester United every Saturday than the combined support of all 30 rugby league clubs. These clubs must pick up on the wheel what they lose on the turnstile. Salford was once down at heel. Now it is rich. It can afford costly union starlets. Salford will eventually cap its casino and club with squash courts. This year, it took its place in Manchester's Steak Diane belt with a plush restaurant opened tankard in hand by the Mayor of Salford.
That's it.
It worked. And it worked.
Let's take the big thumb off it.
In these surroundings, Salford can make money and find jobs for their players. But the club's stately pleasure dome is no more than a carrot to lure the fans, an appendix to the club's prime purpose.
If by some other method I can bring people along to watch games, even if it's only to come and eat in a restaurant before the game, and they watch the game and once or twice and they come and they'll be fine, they'll become converted to it.